Hey everybody, this is Nemo and welcome to day 7 of the PrestaShop 101 series. So, unless we run a virtual product business, and well, that's actually the case of many shops, we need to set up shipping options so that our customers can choose the one that better fits their needs. So, it's quite easy actually to set up shipping and carriers in PrestaShop. However, it seems that it's also the point where most people get stuck because there are quite a number of options that have to be taken in consideration. And specifically, there are carriers, obviously, zones, and countries. And to proceed from either zones or countries usually means getting into trouble and bumping into no carrier is available message. So let's do it step by step, starting with carriers. First off, click on shipping carriers, and you can see PrestaShop already comes with 2 default carriers, but we will create our own. So from the top, add a new carrier. Let's hit on add new carrier here, and let's start with by adding general settings. So carrier name Bolt, for example. Transit time, I know, faster than you can tell. Maybe. Speed grade 9, which is the faster, goes from 0, which is the slowest, to 9, which is the fastest. I will not add any logo. Tracking URL. This one is useful when you want your customers to be able to track their parcels from their order history. And as you can read here, you have to type the tracking URL that you can receive from your carrier service. Then use add, and that sign will be replaced with the actual code. So I don't have any, and I will leave this blank. Then hit next. This second table is extremely important, as we can set up for which zones the carrier is available. And we will dive deeper into what zones are later in the video, but right now, as you can see, there are like macro areas where carriers are supposed to ship items, and of course they can be expanded, but we will see this later on. Let's go through the options first. Add handling cost. It's possible to set up a default handling cost, as you can read here in shipping preferences. So you can also set up this carrier to use that fee in addition to the range cost we will see in a while. Free shipping, of course, as the label suggests, we'll set this carrier as free. Then billing. It's possible to choose if we want to bill depending on the total price of the cart, the value of the cart, or its weight. And this, of course, varies from carrier to carrier, so you have to get this information from your shipping service. And the ranges tab below will, of course, change depending on which one you select. Unfortunately, for the time being, it's not currently possible to mix these 2 options, so we can only bill depending on price or weight. Tax. Well, we can choose which one to apply here, taking in consideration what we briefly mentioned in lesson 3 about products. That is, taxes are applied to specific countries and zones too, so it's important to have them matching. Otherwise, if you enable this carrier for a zone that is not the same one as the tax one, things will get really messy. So just pay attention to that. Again, we will see taxes more in depth in the next video, when we will talk about taxes, tax rules, and all those things. Ranges. This is probably the most important part. We need to set up at least one range in order for this carrier to appear. And so we need to set, in this case, we're billing according to a weight. Let's bill according to the price. From 0 to, for example, $10. And I will check all zones and set a $12 fee for all zones. This means that regardless of the active country the customer is from, it will have access to this carrier. Okay, so let's add a new range as well. And this will be valid from $10.0001, for example, to 10,000 or 100,000. And in this case, I used a really high value, so it covers everything that goes above $10, but pay attention of the out of range behavior here. If I were to set $10 to $20 and disable the carrier for the out of range behavior, this carrier would have not been available for people buying items over $20. So if you set this to $10 to $20, for example, make sure if you want this carrier to be always available over a certain amount, to apply the cost of the highest defined range, and I will set it to $24, for example. Again, all of the zones are available. So let's hit next now. In this next section, we can define the maximum dimensions we want this carrier to allow. So if the purchased items exceed this value, the carrier will obviously be disabled. And they can be set up in each product page shipping tab. So let's see catalog products. Let's click on a product and shipping. So as you can see, package width, height, depth, and weight, which are the ones we saw here, right, as maximum. And also additional shipping fees for a single item. This is really useful if you're billing by, for example, basing on the product price or weight, but you want this specific item to have an additional cost for any reason because it's really costs it weighs a lot. So in this case, you can set up a specific fee to add to that carrier cost for this specific item when this item is purchased. And also, it's possible to choose a specific carrier for this product. So if you select any of these carriers, which are the ones available now, and add them to the selected carriers box, only those ones in the selected carriers box will be available when you check out using this product. Okay, now that we know this, let's go back here. And we are okay with these options, so let's hit next. To reach the summary tab, let's quickly check this. Can deliver order from 0 to 20. And yeah, will be available with for the out of range behavior as well. Let's see if it works. Okay, finish. Let's test it out. Now, I intentionally set the store up so we get an error or mismatch. And you know what's going on in case you encounter the same issue. Right now, if I check out with my French/USA customer, you can see free shipping here in the summary, in the cart summary page. Why? Well, let's click proceed to the checkout. You can see the address is United States. Proceed to the checkout. I'm asked to modify my address. Why is that? Well, yeah, it's a bit confusing as there is no mention of this elsewhere in the front office. But this happens it only happens actually in the most recent versions of PrestaShop. It happens because our store is not currently supporting France or USA as country. And these are the only two countries this customer has addresses for. So as we want to do it, let's go back to the admin panel, localization countries. And here you can find a list of all countries installed in your shop. And I think there are basically all countries of the world, so it's usually not necessary to add new ones. As you can see, the only active one here is Denmark. But we need others. We need France, or for the time being, we need France or United States. As this customer only has a French or USA address, let's enable, for example, United States. And then check again the front office. Let's go back and proceed to the checkout. Right, okay, we can choose this address, proceed, and there is our carrier, Bolt. And you can see that the highest price of our shipping range is being applied. Okay, so let's now go back one step and have a look at this address. There are some info here, and they're usually enough, but sometimes it might be necessary to display others, like, for example, the customer's birth date for some reason. Well, yeah, clients might not need this information in the summary here, but they can be valuable pieces of info for you in invoices and in the order back office. PrestaShop allows us to change the displayed fields specifically for each country. Let's see how in the back office. Again, the countries list, let's edit North America. Sorry, United States. North America is the zone. The first fields here can generally be left untouched as they are usually correct. You can see the zone here, as I mentioned, North America zip format, if you need the zip or parcel code to be entered. And then the important part is this address format. As you can see, it's the same as we can notice here in the front office. So how can we add other fields? Well, simply scrub through these ones we have here, and if we need any other piece of information, for example, birthday, just you can click on this. But before doing that, it's better to space out fields by hitting enter or space, and it will be added as I did now. Let's save and see if it works. So order, refresh. Yep, you can see it's being added. But of course, we can also get rid of non-important or non-valuable pieces of information. So if you don't want a company, just get rid of this, and again, save. Go back and refresh, and this will be shown equally in the order panel and invoice as well. Just some other mentions about these other options. Of course, if this country is active or not, if it contains states, if you need a tax number, and if you want to display the tax label. We don't want to edit any of these, so I will just go back for now. So I mentioned states, and despite the name, they are not only used for federal countries like as we saw United States, but they also act as regions or areas within countries themselves. And here as well, PrestaShop provides enough base information about most of the countries you usually select state for. Still, if you need more, there are two different approaches that can be taken. First, we can try going to localization, and try importing states using localization packs. By just unchecking this, selecting the country you need states for, and try importing. However, I noticed so far that PrestaShop already comes with all states you can import, so you probably won't go any farther this way. But it's already worth giving it a try, as packs are constantly updated. Therefore, the manual way simply consists in reaching the states panel here, localization states, and clicking Add New State. Notice that you might need the region or state ISO code here. I'm not really into that, so I'm not sure you can find them on Google, whatever. If you have any, you can also prefix them with a country ISO code as PrestaShop suggests here. It's, however, important to notice that you have to select the correct country and zone. And with this I mean the country you select must be in the same zone you set up here. Otherwise, if there is a country zone mismatch, people will not be able to check out. It will generate confusion and problems. So zones, yes, what are they exactly? As I briefly mentioned a while ago, they can be considered macro areas that contain countries that eventually contain states and so on, and they're used for shipping purposes, as we saw. There is not much to set up about zones actually, so if you need a new specific shipping area, just zones, here localization zones, and click Add New. And just enter name, my specific zone, set it to active if you need it, of course, and save. Of course, make sure the zones are enabled, otherwise people from countries of those zones will not again be able to check out and they will be shown the not valid address error, or the carrier not available carrier error. PrestaShop's a bit buggy sometimes on this, so pay attention to zones every time, really. Now, before concluding today's video, I'd like to briefly mention free shipping. And there are multiple ways to set it up, including the use of vouchers. But since vouchers, also known as cart rules, are not subject of today's video, let's see how to do it without. First, we can set up a global free shipping threshold when cart items have a value or weight over a certain amount. So if I can do that by going to shipping preferences, and you can see free shipping starts at $0, 0 pounds. And if I set it, for example, how much do I have here? Let's see. I have 28 bucks, 26. So if I set 20, all carriers will have free shipping because we're buying above 20 bucks, as you can see. But we don't want this. We don't want this to be applied to all carriers. We only want this to be applied to our bulk carrier. We want our bulk carrier to be free if somebody buys over 20 bucks. How can we do this? Well, back to the carriers, bulk, we can go to the shipping locations and costs, and we can set up a zero fee for example, our North America, if it's over 10 bucks. So I will save this. Finish. Let's see if it got saved. Okay, it says 2 because our deliver next day is selected, but if I go through the checkout, you can see Bolt is now free. So yeah, it's a bit of a raw trick perhaps, but it works. So you can use this to make your carriers free. Okay, I think this is everything for today's video. In next lesson, as I mentioned, we will talk about taxes and tax rules in PrestaShop, which is yet another pretty complicated topic. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.